You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
From the City of Angels, the Stacy Strong Sunday Night NASCAR Cup Series is ready to clash at the Coliseum. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, where the USC Trojans, Los Angeles Dodgers, the LA Rams, and the Raiders have all called home. Tonight, though, instead of a beautiful baseball field or rigid gridiron, we find a quarter-mile asphalt oval that has been specially installed for the 2024 clash. We see the usual suspects to hear tonight, like Alex Murray and Bennett Allen, along with their leader, Mr. Chris Claude, the chief cook and bottle washer, here in the Stacy Strong SNN Cup Series, as well as a few new races in 2024. We can't wait to get excited, and we know you're excited too. I'm Dave Regal here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth alongside my partner in crime, Mr. Alan Bergen, and we'll be with you every step of the way, from the green flag to the checkered flag, right here on Sim Racing Media. And Alan, I am so thrilled to welcome you in tonight, as, you know, this is your first go-around here with this league, and you are in for a treat.
Right, so right I am, and you know what, Dave? I'm glad that I'm able to join you this season. I'm so thankful to be here, and I tell you what, this track is going to be elbows up tonight, as this is the only track that we will run heats on, as it were. So we're in for an action-packed race that's going to be elbows up, and they're going to be all over the track, and things are going to happen really, really fast.
Elbows up, of course, referring to the amount of work that these drivers are going to have to do. There's no chance, for a break or a breather here at the LA Coliseum. Of course, we can see right from where the camera is now where the cars are able to enter the track from what would usually be a tunnel coming out from underneath the stands here. Just an incredible venue, especially to open the NASCAR season. We're used to opening it in Florida, which of course we will do with the Daytona duels in a couple of weeks, and of course the Daytona 500. But here we are in Southern California, and the weather may have been a little nasty today in Southern California. That's why they had to move the real race up to yesterday. But right now, qualifying it's so fast because this track is so short that nearly everybody has already laid their qualifying time down.
For sure. And I actually had the pleasure, Dave, of getting on the track in the trucks in the official series, and they're on the track. They're on this track and on the official side. So this track is really elbows up. It's really hard to drive. You're going to be on the brakes, and we're going to see who can get around here. If you're a master of the bull rings, this track is for you.
Well said, sir. As we pull up that race information, of course, 75 degrees here in the stands if you're just getting settled into the seat. 75-degree track temperature, so obviously the track, plenty of grip in this asphalt. 1/4 mile, it's actually just less than a quarter mile around. We have a kind of an interesting setup for the evening. Tonight, we're going to have 4 heat races consisting of 25 laps each. The top 5 out of those heat races are going to transfer over to the feature race. Then we have a last chance qualifier, or the consi, as is usually said. 3 of those drivers will make it to the feature, and then 150 laps, the total distance for the feature. And I'll tell you what, this league, and I've said it 100 times since taking the microphone here, that this is home for me. These drivers, a lot of these drivers are the ones who I came into this sport with, who I came into this activity, this hobby with, and this is home. So a lot of these guys, I've gotten a chance to chop it up with them, off the track, and I can't wait to get moving.
Yeah, this is race number 1, Dave, and hopefully I'm pretty sure it's going to be the start of a long-standing relationship up here in the booth between you and myself, calling these races and getting to know these drivers over the course of the year.
Yeah, and we will get to know these drivers, a lot of the stories behind the drivers. As last year, of course, we were fortunate enough here on Sim Racing Media to have all 3 series broadcast live here on SRM. Unfortunately, this year, not full-time for the Xfinity and Truck Series, but, still full-time here in the Cup Series. And to be fair, this is where a lot of that excitement is going to come from. Drivers all wrapped up here with about 4 minutes left in the normal qualifying time, so everybody running back to the bathroom, of course, grabbing that extra water. And, just a little peel back the curtain here at the Coliseum. First of all, this venue, the Coliseum itself opened up, hold on to your pants, folks. It opened up 102 years ago in 1921. In that time, the Coliseum has seen what I can only assume to be more professional sports teams and college sports teams than anyone. I'm curious to see how some of this shook out over the years, but of course the Trojans, the longest tenants here at the Coliseum from 1923 until today. UCLA was here from 33 to 81. The Rams, when they moved from Cleveland in 1946, were here until 79. The Dons, the Dodgers, USC basketball. Now, here's where I'm curious of how they did this. But USC basketball, the Chargers were here in 1960. The Lakers, when they moved from Minneapolis. It's almost like when teams migrated to the West Coast, this is kind of where they set up shop before their arenas were born.
Yeah, that's crazy that they held everything from, basketball to football and everything in between. But if I'm not mistaken, Dave, they also did hold the Olympics here too.
They absolutely did. I mean, the Olympics were here. It has just been an incredible place to watch any kind of sport, and auto sports is just the newest thing that they've been able to get here at the Coliseum. Taking a look here at our youtube.com live chat, Rich Jet cheering on McAdoo, Pennsylvania's very own John Wilco. Jackdown Motorsports saying it's good to hear my voice on TV again. Thank you. Of course, Jackdown Motorsports, a longtime part here of the SNN family. Dcash Videos, that's Mr. Alexander Gangler. We'll get to see him tonight driving my former number, the number 8, in his Milwaukee paint scheme. So a lot of things to get to tonight. We'll have to get around to it, as the globe turns, so to speak. What are you going to be looking for besides Arms Up Racing here at the Coliseum tonight?
Well, I can tell you right now, Dave, the real battle is going to be in the back in those transfer spots as we go through the heat races and the LCQ. So when we get to the last chance showdown and we get to the heats, I'm going to be watching those battles in the back in those transfer spots because one wrong move and you can go from hero to zero in the heat races, or you can be the guy that has to go to the beer stand a little bit early, put it on the trailer instead of racing at 150 laps here at the end of the night.
No other statement has been more accurate than that, sir. And just something here as I'm thinking about it. I know you and I come from a similar cloth here. I feel bad most for the flagman here at the Coliseum. You see right here from this camera angle, he's there in a scissor lift, and on a good day inside, a scissor lift is kind of wobbly once you get extended. He's standing in what has to be a wind tunnel down there with these drivers going by. He's got to be strapped down to the ground and has nerves of steel.
Yeah, luckily he's not that high up in the air because, I mean, we've been in those things where they've been at least, 15, 20 foot in the air. So at least he's only about 8 foot off the ground. But nonetheless, it's still a big gust of wind hitting that thing. That thing's still wobbly.
The other thing is, and something that, of course, none of us really think about or take for granted, but unlike in a traditional racetrack where the flag stand is on the stand's side, if that poor fella has to run to the bathroom and needs somebody to tag in for him or take a break or get a bottle of water, he's kind of SOL. So here we go with race number 1 gridding up, waiting for Alex Murray to hop in the old machine here in the Double Deuce. That Chevrolet Camaro looking sharp for the season. We're going to pull up that driver info, if you will. And here we go with SDK's lovely graphics issues. Let's quick reboot that. You guys will have to just bear with us for a moment here. We did think that we broke the SDK code on how to make this work, and there it is. Check that out there on the left side of the screen. No more overlaid names and numbers. So Alex Murray going to be sitting on the pole for heat number 1. He's going to be joined on the front row by Mr. Bennett Allen from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Richard Pruitt and Ethan Ball going to be in row number 2, while row 3 going to feature John Crow Sr. and Chris Davis. Mark Johnston in the 80 going to be starting on the inside of row number 4, joined by Ricky Williams from Manning, South Carolina. Nick Hansen brings the 99 into 9th position, and Noah Hamilton going to be starting shotgun on the field for heat number 1. So 10 drivers scheduled to run these 25 laps in heat number 1. I can't wait for this as Alex Murray brings us down the front chute. He's going to follow the iRacing.com pace car. And Alan, we are getting closer to go time.
Yeah, it's about to get crazy. There's an announcer here in St. Louis, and he would refer to these guys as jet planes in a gymnasium. Stand back, hold on tight, because it's about to get wild.
Absolutely. We see the man in the stand has the green flag in his hand. The iRacing.com pace car makes the hard left turn down pit road. Alex Murray hits the Geico restart zone, and we are underway in heat number 1.
Alex Murray going to take him down to turn number 1 in the start of heat 1. But look out, we're too wide between Richard Pruitt and Bennett Allen as he lost the whole shot to Alex Murray.
We see right here Ethan Ball. Oh, around goes John Crow Sr. and the caution flag has not flown. He is quickly towed out of the way. So John Crow Sr. deciding it's time to put it on the hauler for now and wait for the LCQ. Alex Murray opening up a 1.4 second gap over Richard Pruitt, and drivers going single file early here in heat number 1. As we see getting closer here, it looks like Ricky Williams, turns around Mark Johnston, the 80. The cautions must be turned off. That is going to cause some major issues here as the 22 now suddenly has to slow down. I hope race control is paying attention as Richard Pruitt suddenly side by side with Alex Murray. Pruitt looking to the inside of Murray. It's starting to heat up, Alan.
Yeah, so the thing you got to be careful about running heat races is typically when a league runs heat races, they do have the cautions off, because if not, you'll run a bunch of caution laps. The other thing too is if you're Bennett Allen, Noah Hamilton, Chris Davis, Richard Pruitt, and Alex Murray, you guys are gonna run just ride around. You're already locked in. If you're Bennett Allen, you got a little insurance, and unless you're Nick Hansen, then you gotta really force a move that you normally wouldn't force.
Right, and currently as we go here, opening up a new feature in our live stream here, a little camera there in the corner. Alex Murray coming out here, opening up a 1.65 second gap over Richard Pruitt. The top 5 drivers that would transfer. Suddenly what looks like a hardware failure for Noah Hamilton. We'll have to take a look back at that later. The top 5 drivers here are all in, for the feature, and until just that moment, all top 5 drivers are on the lead lap, but now just 4 drivers. Let's take a look and see what happened to Noah Hamilton, as it almost looks like he just had some kind of a hardware failure coming down the front chute, or maybe just overstretched it, and that allowed Alex Murray to put him a lap down.
For sure. As you're looking at Alex Murray, he's got a sizable lead against Richard Pruitt there coming down to turn number 1, as this is a pretty heavy heat race here. Nonetheless, these laps are clicking off at a exceptionally quick rate as we go around this track, and there's so much action that we almost can't keep up with it.
No, and an update here in our YouTube.com live chat from Dcash Videos. Looks like iRacing is skipping heat number 4, so there will be a couple out of the LCQ instead of just the original 1 that I had surmised. So, going to be interesting here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth with 10 laps to go. And Jackdown Motorsports also claiming that there are no cautions in heat races. So, something different, as some of the leagues that I've called here during the off-season did have cautions during that time.
Yeah, it really, Dave, it depends on the league. A lot of the dirt leagues on iRacing don't typically run cautions. Some asphalt leagues that they might run cautions in their heat races, but the more of the leagues I've run in and called, in my short time, they haven't run caution flags. With Alex Murray is catching lap traffic, and it looks like it's going to be Ricky Williams that's going to be in danger of being a lap down to Alex Murray, as Alex Murray is trying to figure out how to get around him.
Alex Murray out of Concord, North Carolina. Watch those brake rotors glowing red as he hauls it down here into turns 3 and 4. I mean, I was talking with some of the guys off air before we started tonight, and one of their takeaways from practicing here at the Coliseum is that they spent more time on the brake than they did on the throttle.
Yeah, because you could almost run out of brakes. You could lose the brakes just like you do at Martinsville. as we see Alex Murray putting the looks like number 80 car a lap down, maybe even 99. No, what's 96? Sorry, Ethan Bell. Ethan Bell goes a lap down to Alex Murray. Alex Murray is sitting high, wide, and handsome right now. And right now, the interval, the gap is almost 4.5 seconds back to Richard Pruitt there in the number 24 car, Dave.
Richard Pruitt, a newcomer here to the SNN Stacy Strong Cup Series out of Sanford, North Carolina. You can see him right there in the lower portion of your screen. As I had mentioned, a lot of new faces here as the white flag has waved. Alex Murray going to haul it out of turn 2 down the backstretch one more time. And as he rolls out of 4, the man waves the checkered flag, and Alex Murray, your heat number 1 winner. He'll be joined by Richard Pruitt, Bennett Allen, Noah Hamilton, and Chris Davis in the feature. So heat number 2 getting ready to be underway, as that'll be happening momentarily. Alex taking it pit side here. And here we go with heat number 2. And we're going to refresh once again here. Again, this is something that we discovered, at least that I discovered during the off-season, how to get these graphics to work with heat racing, because unfortunately, our timing and scoring system can only see what's on the track that moment, and it will transfer by accident what's going on. So let's take a look at our starting lineup for heat number 2. RJ Root out of Gloucester, Virginia, back in the cockpit again here in the number 7 Chevrolet Camaro. He'll be joined in the front row by Nolan Hodgson from Lamars, Iowa. Kevin Zosiak, another newcomer here to the SNN ranks, going to be joined by Michael Witt in row number 2. Row number 3 going to feature Alex Prinzen and Channing Ballou out of Pensacola, Florida, while Ken Ron and Chris Claude make up row number 4. John Wilco out of McAdoo, Pennsylvania, one of my fellow Pennsylvanians, going to be starting in 9th position, while Eric Papineau, who ran a few races last season from Williamsburg, Virginia, going to start shotgun on the field. So another 10 drivers ready to rock and roll here in heat number 2, as Nolan Hodgson going to have control of the field.
Yeah, Dave, I'm ready to lock in another 5 drivers to the A main here as we get set, and the iRacing.com pace car is going to be bringing them down to the green flag this time by.
And I just want to invite everybody once again to get involved here in our YouTube.com live chat. Let us know who you're pulling for tonight, as right now, RJ Root has control of the field. The man in the stand has the green flag in his hand, and we go back green flag racing. Heat number 2 underway with RJ Root jumping out to a nice lead over Nolan Hodgson. Nolan, the young man, I'll tell you what, he is somebody that you're going to have to watch all season long. He may not be up in years, but he's definitely up in skill.
Yeah, as we got the number 12 of Nolan Hodgson working on Raymond Boot, or RJ Boot as we call him. And this is a battle for the lead right now. It's getting ready to get good right here. So we got Michael Witt there in the number 78 car in hot pursuit as we go above the LA Coliseum, and you're looking at it from the aerial view. And these guys are, oh, we got trouble.
That's Channing Ballou spinning around Alex Prinzen just a few moments ago on lap number 2, so he can't be very happy, Alex Prinzen that is. But everybody's still on the lead lap here, and I'll tell you what, Channing Ballou was incredible last year in the Xfinity and the Cups, in the Xfinity and the Truck Series. I'm excited to see him here in the Cup Series, as you know, to me, it just is the way that it should be. See the front nose on that number 88 Mountain Dew National Guard machine. Little tip of the cap there to old Dale Jr. As he is side by side battling to stay on the lead lap. He finally gets a jump over the 7 of RJ. RJ just punts him, and contact, and it sends RJ down into the wall. If there's somebody I don't want to see angry on the racetrack, it's RJ Root.
Yeah, I don't know RJ, but
again, not sure what happened here.
I don't want to see RJ get mad at me, because I can only imagine that he can make your day very long.
Chris Claude looks like he's looking for a parking space at the local mall here. Oh, as he gets pasted by Channing Ballou while trying to recover the 10 machine. My God, my God.
Yeah, these guys are racing hard. And Chris Claude, he's just trying to make laps and get through this heat race and get onto an LCQ. As Nolan Hodgen is running away with it with almost a 3-second gap as the number 17 car, and that's Eric Papineau is in danger of being put a lot down there.
We can see Papineau holding on for dear life just in front of Nolan Hodgson in the 12. And I'll tell you what, that Brandt Racing Ford Mustang is all over the bumper of Papineau. Let's head down here to the gearbox. Looking at it from Papineau's rear bumper, Williamsburg, Virginia, he is somehow able to make this Chevrolet 3 wide and hold Papineau back. We see Ken Ron there in the Isaacs number 33 getting passed now by Hodgson. And once again, it looks like he's just going to have to hold on for dear life. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Nolan Hodgson, we can look at it from his perspective, what he sees. And right now, the Lamar's Iowa native is doing everything he can to try to get around. There it comes, Papineau.
Yeah, I think Hodgson's going to get real impatient here with Papineau and try to stick the bumper to him. But as you notice, as you're looking on the 17 cars, he locks the brakes there, and Hodgson's finally going to get by Papineau to put him down a lap, and he's on to the next guy. You'll hit lap traffic very, very quickly here on this racetrack. It's a temporary quarter mile. I mean, these guys are... There's no points. It's glory or... bring me the checkered or bring me the steering wheel. I don't care what you bring me. Just bring me one of them. But
looking at John Wilco here out of McAdoo, Pennsylvania, it looks like he's fighting a little bit of a tight race car here going into the turn. Not sure if he's going to be able to overcome that as we get deeper here into this piece. But, I mean, listen, if there's anybody that's going to try to do that and succeed at it, it's going to be a coal cracker from the hills of Pennsylvania.
Hey, as long as
when I say coal cracker, let me shed some light there. I mean a coal miner. You got to crack the coal. It's not coal crack. It's a whole other thing.
I don't know about you, but right now, Nolan Hodges has set the fastest lap with a 13.26.
13.26 with 5 laps to go now. We're going to watch these laps just this side of evaporate. Ken Ron deciding he's had enough, and he brings it behind the wall. So Nolan Hodgson looks around and says, I've got 5 drivers that are coming with me. John Wilco holding on for dear life at this point. 13.64 seconds his best lap. And right now he's 10 seconds behind Hodgson. So I think with 3 to go now, we should start to see things cool off here. As Wilco not really in danger as Princeton down a lap. Princeton's going to have to go to the LCQ. That'll put John Wilco directly into the feature as he's been able to hold on to it and just keep things fine and dandy. The white flag is in the air. Nolan Hodgson rolls it out of 1 and 2. And as he hauls it down the back chute and into 3, looks like Nolan Hodgson can see the checkered flag. He captures it, crossing the start-finish line, and is joined going to the feature with R.J. Root, Michael Witt, Kevin Zosiak, and John Wilco.
That was a fun heat, Dave. That was so fun.
It was definitely fun, and now that everybody knows that cautions are not going to be flying, it's definitely going to change the dynamic as we go deeper here into the night.
And I believe we're going to get ready to lock in another set of 5 cars.
As we get ready to rock and roll, let's get the graphics back up and functioning. Sometimes I think they drink more than I do. As we get ready to rock here, Ryan Samuelson going to be sitting on the pole position here for heat number 3. He'll be joined on the outside of the front row by Tanner Marty. Sean Rogers and Jeff Carson going to make up row number 2. Tanner Marty not getting running. While Ron Fitting and Alexander Gangler are going to be in row number 3. Sean Kelly going to be in row 4, joined by Tyler Sexton. And Seba Cornez opting not to start here, so I guess he figures he'll take his chances in the LCQ if he takes his chances at all. Seba Cornez, of course, one of our South American entries, and I'll tell you what, I have raced side by side with Seba, and he is incredible to watch, and somebody that I consider to be a very good friend, and I can't wait to see him come back and make something of the season. But you know, here's the thing: we're here in the heat races at the Clash. Points don't matter, so if you want to put it on the hauler early and take your chances at Daytona in the duels, fine.
Yeah, some of these guys, as we come down to the green flag, Ryan Samuelson is on the button, and he's got Tanner Marty with him. Samuelson will get the whole shot off of turn number 2, and he'll lead
Jeff
him
Carson
down the back
already
straight.
around.
Ooh,
Jeff
got
Carson
trouble
coming to a
already.
near stop. Let's see what happened from high above here in the blimp cam. Oh, he makes contact with the 33. Off. If there's anybody, though, that I think can recover from that, it's going to be Jeff Carson. He's a former teammate of mine, and I'll tell you what, Jeff is one of those guys that he'll grind this out. Now, don't get me wrong, if it's at one of those stages in the season where, you know, things really don't matter, he'll put it on the hauler and say goodnight. You know, he's not going to sit here and waste his time, that's for sure. As Ryan Samuelson running away now with a 1.2 second lead over Tanner Marty. Tanner Marty, and then back to Sean Kelly. We see him running here nice and easy. You can almost throw a blanket over these top 5 as Jeff Carson maybe looks to try to overtake Sean Rogers. But right now, if I was him, right in front of us. Oh, he's going to be mad. Jeff Carson suddenly going to be driving like a man on a mission as he just went from protecting the bubble to being outside of the bubble.
Yeah, Jeff Carson on the outside looking in. He's got to run down Tyler Sexton, but does he have enough time? As we're 5 laps in, 20 laps to go. I think he's got enough time, but Tyler's got to be smooth because you're not gonna hold off Jeff Carson for very long.
No, Jeff Carson, one of those drivers that we see more often than not, where, you know, he's going to be, here he already is sniffing the back bumper of Tyler Sexton. And I mean, if I was Sexton, I'd be considering getting out of the way. Oh, speak of the devil, there it is. I hate to say that I called that, but I called that. Here it is. We'll look at the replay here. Tyler Sexton with Jeff Carson in tow. And we can see Carson getting a run on him, and basically Sexton got just a little bit of a tap, and it was enough to upset the rear end of the 35.
And the thing too, Dave, is, you know, Jeff Carson was almost locking up the brakes to keep from running into him 5 laps earlier.
Tyler Sexton deciding it's time to ride the wall and stay out of the way, as we are 14 to go now.
Yeah, 14 to go is not very long on a quarter-mile oval. And this is kind of like an egg-shaped oval, kind of wide out in the straightaway, but it really narrows down going into the corners. As you see Ryan Samuelson, he's out to almost a 7-second lead, and he's getting ready to put his first victim down a 1 lap, which would be Tyler Sexton, who had that earlier run-in with Jeff Carson battling for a transfer spot. But I mean, some of these guys you mentioned earlier putting it on the trailer, and some of these guys maybe ran in practice said, you know what, it's not worth it. We're not running for points. Let's just take the night off and watch it.
Taking a look here at Seba Cornez, who managed to get around Ron Fitting for P5. So we're going to watch this run that he's got. He's got Alexander Gangler in tow. Ron Fitting goes sideways, and that's how Seba Cornez is going to transfer inside of the bubble.
Yeah, right now we're watching the 59 of Steve Corbin's, but we're back up to front with Ryan Samuelson.
No, we'll stay right here with Seba as all of a sudden Alexander Gangler all over the racetrack. He's going to need a Milwaukee shop vac to clean that mess up. As Ryan Samuelson having control of the field in the 81, and of course Samuelson, the young man out of Westminster, Maryland, is your sister's favorite driver, assuming that you have a sister. And the joke with me has always been, he says that he's my sister's favorite driver. The thing is, my sister's not into dudes.
He might be my favorite driver by the end of the series. As these, as you can see, the brake rotors, they're glowing redder than a sunburn that I would ever get on a hot summer day.
It's definitely a Southern California sunburn there, as Ryan Samuelson now chases down out of nowhere Tyler Sexton, who was just doing so well earlier on in this race, had that weird little dust up, and now all of a sudden back to a different dynamic, if you will.
Well, right now, I want to point out that Jeff Carson is in the last transfer spot with Alex Gingler on the outside looking in. The hours of the sands of the hourglass are running out for Alex Gingler as he tried to get back to Jeff Carson, but up front we're watching. Here we go. We got Ryan Samuelson with the white flag, and here he comes out of turn number 4, or out of turn 2. Sorry. Now he comes out of turn 4, and here is your winner, Ryan Samuelson, with Shane Kelly, P2, P3 will be Sean Rogers, Steve Cornez will be P4, and the last and final transfer spot in P5 will be Jeff Carson.
Carson's got to be happy that he makes it to the feature without having to run this last chance qualifier, because I'll tell you what, you look at it and you're thinking, this is not what I wanted to do. So as we get ready to rock and roll here, looks like our graphic has decided to stay stable this time. That's a fun one. No rhyme, no reason. Here it is. Here's the thing. I can't explain left or right what's going to cause the graphics to do what they do. If it's going to hiccup, it's going to hiccup, and they're not going to tell me. So, speaking of not telling me, how about I tell you who's going to be starting? Where's my cursor? Nick Hansen going to be starting on the pole position this time around. Here for the last chance qualifier, he'll be joined by Alex Princeton on the front row, Alexander Gangler and Ethan Ball going to start in row number 2, while row 3 going to feature Eric Papineau and Ron Fitting, Chris Claude and Ricky Williams in row number 4, while Mark Johnston and Tyler Sexton make up row number 5. Tanner Marty and Ken Ron in the double 3 going to start in row number 6, and starting shotgun on the field is Channing Ballou out of Pensacola, Florida. So 13 drivers going to start here with the green flag. You have to forgive me. I wasn't ready to cough, but apparently it was time. As 13 drivers going to take the green flag this time around, 75 laps the scheduled distance around this quarter mile. We've seen some pretty fast racing so far as the iRacing.com pace car leads us down the backstretch. He peaks here. Where's he going to go? There he goes. Now he's going to look here to the inside and get ready. As the green flag flies, we're underway here in the last chance qualifier.
Nick Hansen taking him down to turn number 1. He got the whole shot, and Alexander Ganger is going to be P2 right now, as we got a whole gaggle of cars behind him, 75 laps to go in the last chance qualifier, or as in the dirt roll we say, the last chance showdown. And Nick Hansen already out to almost a second and a half lead over the rest of the field. Dave, he's going to be pretty smooth. And on these little bitty bull rings, it's all about track position. The better you are track position wise, the less likely you're going to get caught up in someone else's mess.
Trying to get rocking and rolling here. Can't figure out what's going. There we go. But here's the thing. I was just checking here in our YouTube.com live chat. Looks like, according to Dcash Videos, that's Alexander Gangler, 8 drivers will make it to the feature from the LCQ.
We got one around already.
29. That's Tanner Marty in the tops machine. Doesn't. Woof. He is wobbly as wobbly gets. It almost looks like he was drinking for a couple of hours, got off the bar stool, and forgot that he had legs.
It's cheaper to do it at home than at the bar, but nonetheless, We got a battle heating up right here between Alex Ganger and Ethan Ball and Alex Princeton. Oh, Gangler around.
Gangler goes around. Let's take a look and see what my buddy Alex did here to my beautiful number 8 car. And all of a sudden, the yellow flag finally comes out. We're going to get ourselves racked, stacked, and ready to do it again. But we'll see what brought this out here as Gangler cuts across Ron Fitting's nose. Ron Fitting then shoved out of the way by the 17 of Eric Papineau. And for those of us that have that experience, it's almost like trying to park on the Schuylkill Expressway during rush hour. It's not going to happen easily.
No, it's not going to happen easily. That's what I-270 here in St. Louis looks like at 4 o'clock in the afternoon when you see these guys spin out and stack them up like that.
I want to thank all of our sponsors tonight. Of course, the Stacy Strong Foundation, of course, started by our fellow driver and friend Brian Tarnowski. This is the Stacy Strong Cup Series. Of course, Stacy referring to Brian's late wife, Stacy Tarnowski, who was an absolute joy to have in the youtube.com live chat, cheering on her husband, cheering us on. And, I have a special relationship with Brian because when I first came into this league, Brian and I, it was almost like, opposite magnets just attracting to one another. No matter where I qualified, Tarnowski was nearby, whether +2 or -2 around me. And it just seemed like we were always near one another. And if one of us had a bad race, the other was having a bad race too. So I got to know him very well. And when his wife passed, our teammate, Tony Trapasso, was one of the first people to jump on the wagon and say, we need to raise funds, we need to raise awareness. And, so Sim Racing Media has a very special relationship with Brian, and we want to thank him for being our title sponsor for the 2024 SNN season here on Sunday Night NASCAR. Of course, in prime time on a Sunday night, we don't have to compete with those clowns over at NBC for a little while in the football. As Hansen going to bring us out of turn 4, hit the Geico restart zone, and we're back underway.
Yeah, Nick Hansen going to lead him down in turn number 1 again. He got the whole shot, but Ethan Bell going to start applying pressure as Alex Princeton is applying pressure to Ethan Bell. But right now it's turning into a 2-horse race.
Ooh, and the 88 just gets punted by... Wow.
How he ever kept that one straight, Dave, I'll be amazed for a while.
There was a lot of prayer, okay? And maybe even an autopilot or two.
Nonetheless, so far your quickest time in this race so far is a 13:71, and that's by the leader. And well, Channing said, "You know what? I think I'll run the fastest lap if I'm, gonna make it with a 13:43." As he's working the inside of Ron Fitting, and that's a battle for P3, Dave.
Taking a look here in our youtube.com live chat, our coverage must be just that good, as Dinky wanted to know if this was yesterday and then realized it was iRacing. So obviously we're doing something really, really good if we're able to fool the casual viewer here on YouTube. Want to welcome everybody into the youtube.com live chat. I'm Dave Regal, he's Alan Bergen, and this is the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth just outside of the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And, of course, St. Louis, the home of all that is macro brew beer. That's all you get down there. That's all I'm really giving you. I mean, okay, we can call it the gateway to the West, but this is the cradle of liberty, my friend. And I got to tell you, we're not really impressed with the gateway to the West. We had everything we had with 13 colonies.
Well, what about the 11-time world champion St. Louis Cardinals? Or
let's not talk about those
home,
people.
Or home of the 1989 champion Rusty Wallace, or
no. Listen, you went right for baseball, and that's not going to get you any points with me. I mean, just because you've got 11 championships hanging down there, in the stadium, doesn't mean that our 2 pennants hanging there in the outfield at Citizens Bank Park don't matter. Okay. We got 2, and they were quality. So you can have quantity or you can have quality, and that's what we have here in South Philadelphia. As Ethan Ball has wrestled away the lead from Nick Hansen. Now Ethan Ball starting to run away, that he's got some clean air up here. looks like most of this field has gone single file, and that's something that you and I are going to see a lot this season here on Sim Racing Media. As you know, these drivers, first off, this league huge into safety, making sure that they make the races fun for everybody, because you know, you never want that one person who's just out there being a cowboy, you know, running people over. This league spends a lot of time studying safety, trying to make people drive safer. And you know, you can't always make people drive safer, but you can make them drive smarter. And this whole let's drive single file seems to be the key, because it does allow for some really good racing. I mean, look, you've got 4 cars here from Ken Ron, Tanner Marty, Ricky Williams, and Mark Johnston, all the way back here in the 5 car. You're suddenly going to see here Tanner Marty chasing down Ken Ron and working on him at an individual basis. He's not there to, you know, beat the bejesus out of his bumper. He's not trying to take 4 spots at once. He's focused on one driver.
Yeah, we're looking at Tanner Marty there, and the number 29. He's backed up 5 positions. He's got that one spot, insurance spot, as I like to call it. He's in the transfer spot. Rick Williams is right behind him, and you know, the battle, when you're battling for transfer spots, Dave, it's really just, you know, I don't think you're safe until you're up in the top 5. If you're up in the top 5, I think you're solidly in, unless something crazy happens. But if you're, you know, Tanner Marty, Ken Ron, you're not really safe, because anything can happen. And then Ricky Williams is going to be ready to pounce all over Tanner and Ken to put himself into the show.
Well, and we see it right here with Ricky Williams. Now, check this out. All of the top 8 right now are Chevrolets. 8 bow ties right in a row before you get to that first blue oval, and it happens to be Mark Johnston. So Mark Johnston here running in 9th position. We can see him chasing down as we pull up. There we go. That nose. Mark Johnston trying to get inside the bubble right now while Ricky Williams is holding him off. Now, you're suddenly going to see a lot of tire smoke here. You're going to see Mark Johnston getting a run on him. But again, with that safety in mind, you can still see that the back of the 5 car is pretty clean. Johnston's not back here, you know, trying to beat the brakes off of him. And we even see, looking back now, as Johnston bites a piece of wall, why not? Even the front end of Johnston's car, not that bad. So he's been driving fairly safe, you know, a little crinkle-dinkle here on the hood, but you know, a lot of these drivers are thinking to themselves, I just want to get to the end. And that's the same case here with Ethan Ball leading this piece by 1.6 seconds.
Yeah, even though Ethan Ball will, you know, if he stays up front and with his thing, when it comes to the A main time, he's going to be in traffic. So
big lockup from the 96.
And, you know, Channing Ballou is right behind him, and he's closing in that gap. And it's down to a second and a quarter, 1.25 seconds. And it's almost like that if Channing's wanting Ethan to keep locking the brakes up, that's going to allow Channing to catch him.
Correct, you are, as 39 laps in the books right now, 75 the total distance. You know, if you think about it, you take that 75, and let's just divide that by 4 here, because that's kind of where we're at. Let's see, 75 divided by 4. They're only driving 18 miles. I mean, for crying out loud, some of us drive further than that for groceries.
Yeah, Ethan Ball is already catching the back of the field right now, as he would be catching the number 80 car of, or the number 8 car, excuse me, of Alexander Dingler. We're right here. We're looking at the back of the pack, and you see them brake the rotors glowing bright red. They are almost as red as the red paint on the concrete there. As these guys are battling pretty hard, and you're looking at Alex Princeton there. He's running 5th position, and here comes Ken Ron. He's closing in and starting to apply pressure to Alex Princeton there in the number 19 car. That's a beautiful looking paint scheme. Holy cow. I love these paint schemes. These guys have definitely put in the work for these paint schemes.
a lot of these drivers out here in custom paint schemes, you won't see too much real-world copyright infringement with these drivers. Many of them do have real-world sponsors that are involved in each and every one of these, paint schemes in each and every one of these cars. And I got to tell you, a lot of these drivers are also real-world drivers. In the Xfinity Series, we get to see Ricky Carmichael run a couple of times during the year. In the Truck Series, last year we got to see Trevor Bayne run a couple of times. We may see a return of those two drivers. So, not trying to name drop or anything, but oops, I dropped it. You're going to see some really good drivers in this league. And I'll tell you what, even the amateurs give those professional drivers a run for their money.
Yeah, a lot of these guys, they'll say, "Oh, you do." I'll tell people at work, like, "What do you do outside of work?" I said, "Oh, I'm a sim racer," and they're like, "A sim racer? What is that?" I don't even try to explain. I just show them YouTube. I just bring up iRacing on YouTube, and then they understand. And then, a lot of guys got a lot of money invested, and then in this program, even if you're not driving, and we're just calling the races, we still got a lot of money invested.
Yes, sir. As we take a look back here at the YouTube.com live chat, Alexis Finley cheering on Tyler Sexton and Ron Fitting. Pistons, Rods, and Dad Mods cheering on Grease Monkey, the 3 and the 35. That, of course, Ron Fitting, and the 35 is not out there right now. But regardless, if you are watching us live on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe and turn on those bell notifications. That way you can be notified every time we go live here on Sim Racing Media. Of course, just about 7 nights of racing now that it's about 6.5 nights really of racing now that SNN is back. And I'll tell you what, we have some really, we have the whole gamut. We've got, we're getting open wheel back. Of course, truck series are always popular. We've got super late models, all, plus there's an Xfinity Series, which of course I call. There's a whole bunch of different stuff that you get to watch here, and it's all free right here on YouTube.
Yeah, just to your point, you get to actually hear us 2 nights a week. So if you're in for the entertainment and the comedy, join us on Wednesday nights on Racers Elite.
Yeah, there's 4,000 comics out of work, and the 2 of us are auditioning. I'll be in Atlantic City this weekend handing out pamphlets.
We got the number 88 card Channing Ballou putting pressure and the bumper to Ethan Ball rather.
Things starting to heat up here as Ricky Williams holding Chris Claude outside of the bubble as a lot of distance here now. Suddenly this caution coming out as Alex Princeton brings out the caution. Let's take a look and see what happened. We see Princeton here in the 19, and a minute ago it looked like this was all pretty well wrapped up. Oh, it wasn't Princeton that brought it out. It was the 8 and the 17. But here's the interesting part. So now where Ricky Williams was holding off Chris Claude by more than a second, now all of a sudden Ricky Williams has Chris Claude right in his bumper. And let's see under caution if we can quick pull up Chris Claude. Hey, Chris, it's Dave up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, I do.
Chris, I didn't get to call your name a whole lot. We're going to talk a little bit more later tonight, I'm sure. But here you are getting ready to claw your way into that 8th position bubble. What are you thinking here? Full send, Chris?
I don't think I have much choice. There's still only going to be about 10 laps left, so it's yeah. I've made my bed. Had a horrible mistake in the heat race and didn't get a chance to make it in that way. So yeah, I'm going to be trying to get through so I can run even more laps here.
Yeah, that's for sure. And we do want to thank you once again for being our partner here in 2024. As I know you and I have been teammates, broadcast people, partners, if you will. And I'll tell you what, you are one of the people that I look forward to seeing every week here on the iRacing servers.
Yeah, we have definitely enjoyed our time here, and certainly you guys are a big part of it, and you especially with being the voice of the league for several years now. So hoping that this is just the start of good things to come. I know that this is a difficult track to navigate around. There's not a lot of space. Definitely some words about not having cautions during the heat races, but I felt like with the last chance qualifier, even if you did make it in through that one, then you could have a good chance of making it in this race.
Yeah, that's for sure. You know what? It's kind of like going for it on fourth down. If you make it, you look like a genius. If you don't make it, everybody gets on your case. So it's not the end of the world. And besides, we got a long season. Good luck the rest of the way, my friend. I'll send you back up.
Thanks, Dave.
That, of course, the voice of the great Chris Claude, chief cook and bottle washer here in the SNN Cup Series. Driver of the number 10. We're going to see him here in his Dasani machine more frequently this year, hopefully, as he's got a thing. In case you didn't know, athletes are superstitious, if you will. If Chris doesn't finish in the top 10, that Dasani goes away. That's his top 10 car. So we're going to hopefully see a lot of that as we get to watch him battle it out here with Ricky Williams. And, he smokes the brakes and gets tight on Williams from behind. That's not going to be good for that distance.
Yeah, Dave, he really needs to put the bumper to Ricky Williams right here to get by him as the sands of the hourglass starts to diminish for Chris Claude there, and he's one spot out. He's on the outside looking in. He's thinking, what do I need to do right now to get by Ricky Williams coming off of turn 4, as Ricky Williams is starting to open up that gap a little bit between him and Claude.
Chris getting a little bit closer. 7 laps to go now here in the last chance qualifier. Oh, the 96 goes around. That's going to open the door now for Chris to come through without having to battle it out with Ricky Williams. Oh, but an ill-timed caution bunches the field up again.
That's all right, because this is what Chris Claude almost needed. He got in without having to put the bumper to Ricky Williams, but nonetheless, Ethan Ball had a good run to this point. Now he's on the outside looking in. So this has been a real back-and-forth battle.
If there's a driver, and you'll learn this throughout the season, buddy, if there's a driver who's not going to use the bumper, it's going to be Chris. Chris is, I call him Mr. Consistency. He'll go out there and he may not, lead laps, and he may not be, in the thick of things, but he will hit his marks. He will stay on task, and you won't see him, come out of the playbook all kinds of crazy, if you will. And right now he's got to worry about Ethan Ball shooting around him when we get restarted. So this, to be fair, might be the most that we talk about Chris Claude, as he's holding on to that 7th position with Ethan Ball and, with Mark Johnston in hot pursuit.
Yeah, right now, Mark Johnston is your last transfer spot to get into this 150-lap A main. And, I mean, we're going to have less than 4 laps to go, less than 5 laps to go when we come back to green. And all Chris Claude's got to do is hit his marks and be very, very smooth. And these tires are going through a heat cycle right now. So that's the other thing, too, is you don't want to lock up the tires. You don't want to spin the tires coming to green flag either. Any little mistake, and Mark Johnston's going to capitalize. Ethan Ball's going to capitalize. Eric Papineau's still got a shot at this. If you're 10th, 11th, 9th, and you almost have to believe you got a shot at it. If you don't, you're not human, and you don't believe in auto. You don't belong in auto racing.
That's for sure. Now, with the iRacing.com pace car lights out, that's going to trigger NASCAR overtime. So we're going to take the green flag this time by. Then we're going to race around. And if the white flag flies, well, then we'll be racing back to checkers. If the caution flag were to fly between the green flag and the white flag, we'll rack them, stack them, and do it all over again. As the iRacing.com pace car makes the hard left turn down pit road. Channing Ballou from Pensacola, Florida, having control of the LCQ. He hits the loud pedal, and we're back underway. The amp energy. Oh, he slides the rear end. That makes everybody check up. That's not going to be good, as Chris Claude's still back there trying to hold off Mark Johnston. Now, all of a sudden, Channing Blue being shoved around the racetrack by the 99 of Nick Hansen. The white flag is in the air. We're racing back to checkers. Channing Blue still trying to hold off the 99. Chris Claude desperately holding on to the 8th position. He's got to get moving again. Come on. Oh, goodness. As Channing Blue crosses the start-finish line, that will end the last chance qualifier and freeze the field. Looks like Chris Claude, just missing the LCQ. So it's going to be Channing Blue, Nick Hansen, Tanner Marty, Ron Fitting, Alex Princeton, Ethan Ball, Ken Ron, and Mark Johnston going on to the feature race tonight as we get ready to get underway once again.
That was a fun heat race, Dave, and now that's going to set the 23. All the prelim activities are over with. The 23 drivers set to do battle here in the class are grading up. Dave, it's time to take the boxing gloves off. We're going bare knuckle boxing, buddy.
Bare knuckle it will be, and really probably more like white knuckle as we get everybody loaded into their cars. 150 laps the scheduled distance, but don't worry, folks, it's not going to take long as we're laying down, all but 15-second laps. As we see sitting on the pole going to be Alex Murray, joined on the outside of the front row by Nolan Hodgson. Ryan Samuelson and Richard Pruitt going to be featured in row number 2, while R.J. Root and Sean Kelly going to be in row number 3. Row number 4 going to be Bennett Allen out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. Of course, the 2022 M&N Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series champion, joined by Michael Witt from Bristol, Tennessee. Noah Hamilton and Kevin Zosiak going to be rounding out your top 10, while Seba Cornez and Chris Davis make up row number 6. McAdoo, Pennsylvania's very own John Wilco going to line up alongside of Jeff Carson, while Nick Hansen and Pensacola, Florida's very own Channing Blue going to be in row number 8. Row 9 going to have Ron Fitting and Tanner Marty, while Ethan Ball and Mark Johnston going to be in row number 10. Alex Princeton going to be starting on the inside of row number 11, while Ken Ron going to be starting shotgun on the field. Nolan Hodgson suddenly deciding to start from the pits. Not sure if he missed the direction to get in the car, but it seems like he wants to start in the pits for tonight. Maybe let these guys battle it out. I can't see climbing out of there going to be very easy, as Alex Murray has his finger on the button, the foot hovering just above the loud pedal as we go here, dipping into turn number 3. The iRacing.com pace car making the left turn behind the pit wall. Alex Murray comes out of turn number 4. The man in the stand has the green flag in his hand. Ladies and gentlemen, grab some popcorn, call a friend, and settle in, because we're green flag racing at the LA Coliseum.
Alex Murray got the whole shot on Ryan Samuelson and Richard Pruitt there, but Ryan Samuelson's in hot pursuit as he's going to try to look to the outside of Alex Murray. Oh, we got caution.
And already a caution, so that's going to allow Nolan Hodgson to quick pop off a pit road and get that lap back already, as he's down 2 laps, so he's going to have to get one free pass and then another, which I'm guessing we're going to see plenty of tonight.
Yeah, Dave, if this was a Sesame Street episode, it would be sponsored by the Yellow Y for Yellow Flag.
You're going to have to work on our material there, sir. But you were close. You were in the neighborhood. You were. Dave Regal and Alan Bergen here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. One of us here outside of the city of brotherly love. The other in a slightly less important city in the Midwest. But you can send all of your hate mail right to OICU812. As Alan and I on our maiden voyage together here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. Of course, Tony Trapasso, the former voice of SNN, my former partner, mentor, friend, tragically passing away last season. And I assumed this duty from him. I said duty, and he'd be proud of me for saying it.
First of all, duty.
But, Tony Trapasso was such a big part in our sport, in our family here at Sim Racing Media. And when he passed away, we went dark for a few days. And when it was time to come back, there was nobody else that anybody, that I really wanted to see sit in this chair. And he is my friend, and I will carry this torch on for him until my voice gives out.
Very true. Very true. But I mean, I don't know. I might have to send you some Emo's pizza so you can have St. Louis style pizza though.
What is it, arched? Do they give it a little bit of Viagra to make it stand up?
No, it's just thin crust pizza. It's just St. Louis style. We
If they
use
make it
Provel
stand up for
cheese.
more than 4 hours, do you have to go see a doctor?
Maybe not. I don't know. I digress.
These are the jokes, folks. It's time to get back green flag racing as Alex Murray hits the loud pedal and we go back underway. Ryan Samuelson already smoking that left rear tire. He's going to drag the rear end around. I can't see that he's very happy about that, but side by side go Richard Pruitt and the 7 of RJ Root. And Pruitt's going to push RJ Root down the straightaway. Richard Pruitt doing his, well, we call it PennDOT. I don't know what you call it in Missouri, Mizzou-dot. But,
Let's do that.
Pruitt doing his plow truck impression with RJ Root, and Gloucester, Virginia's very own RJ cannot be a happy camper.
MoDOT on a snowstorm is about as existent as Santa Claus.
Let's take a look here and see what happened with Richard Pruitt from high above. We see the 24 maybe getting a little bit of a nudge from the 15, comes into that left rear right at the fuel cell. And woof. Yeah, he's not happy. I don't have I mean, I'm not Miss Cleo, but I don't have to be Miss Cleo to read his mind there.
Yeah. You know, this race is going to produce a lot of bent sheet metal, and hurt feelings. So, I mean, if their feelings get hurt, they can always go see Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil doesn't care about your feelings. Callie H saying, what happened to the 5-minute break before after the last chance qualifier? Callie, that will be when we get back to regular racing. Of course, heat racing does not have the 5-minute warm-up between the LCQ and the feature here in this league, but we will have a warm-up during our regular season races, of course, this being a non-points paying race. Just here to set the front row for the Daytona 500.
Right, you are. And Alex Murray, I mean, granted, we've only ran 11 laps. It has been in control of this one as Ryan Samuelson was trying to put pressure on him as the iRacing face car is getting ready to make that left-handed turn off of the corner here as they are doubled up, re-racked and restacked. So we are going to bring him back to green with Alex Murray on the loud pedal in the Geico restart zone right now, and he is off. He went way late, Dave, as they go down to turn number 1, and he gets a jump on Alex Murray and Bennett Allen. Alex Murray bringing him out of turn number 4, and he's off to almost 1 second lead. And he said, enough of this. I'm going to set the fastest lap of a 13.42. He's almost qualifying out there by himself. And like I said at the top of the show, this is all going to be about track positions. We got Ryan Samuelson goes around. And we
Ryan
stay
Samuelson
green,
about to be the most angry driver on the racetrack right now as we take a look from high above here. The 81, that Army machine there. Navy machine, I'm sorry. What in the, I can't necessarily read that, but we're going to assume that it's something military related as he gets shoved around. So here we are with another caution tonight. This is the 3rd caution in 16 laps. So it looks like we get about an average of 5 in before bad things happen. Of course, that first one coming just after the green flag flew, and Samuelson doesn't seem to understand which direction he's supposed to be going here. Ryan Samuelson trying to get that car turned around and not having any luck doing it as he's holding up the entire field.
Yeah, that field's been held up longer than the mall bar parking lot on Black Friday.
Yeah, we've got to work on your material.
I'm trying to
held up more than you got to think about like the town that you're from. You know, held up more than the St. Louis Arch on a windy day. I don't know what to tell you.
Hey, I think we got a long season of you taking jabs at St. Louis. Okay.
Look, I'm just those people and the red and the white and the Cardinals, and it's a whole thing. And here's the thing: my favorite broadcaster on earth is from your town, and he got his start on KMOX alongside of his pop. But and we won't mention who it is, but if you know, you know. But St. Louis doesn't really offer me much beyond that. Your beer, from what I gather, is terrible. I assume that it would be known as, well, I can't say it. It's one of the 7 words that you're not allowed to say on broadcast. But, we have a better beer in this particular state. And it comes from the rolling hills where the coal crackers roam. Up in Pottsville, Pennsylvania. It's known as Yingling, and we'll be diving deep into that barrel. See what I did there?
Did that?
I know John Wilco is well versed in his Yingling as we take a look here at the Tylenol. Of course, you can't combine that with alcohol. But the Tylenol car, as this league will give you a headache after a while if you're not careful.
The only thing that Philly ever gave me was a cheesesteak.
Yeah, and you people in the Midwest screw it up every time. Do you put red sauce on your cheesesteak?
I don't.
You got to do a cheesesteak. Here's the deal. And folks, if you're from just outside of Philadelphia, if you live in the 215, here's how it's got to be, and we all know it. It's D'Alessandro's. It's a large. It's ketchup, mayonnaise, salt, pepper, onions. None of the whiz. Provolone maybe, but, ketchup, salt, pepper, onions. Very simple. It doesn't have to have 18 things on it.
Oh. Well, nonetheless, I'm going to have to come to Philly and get a legit cheesesteak, though.
Look, you're more than welcome. Just get on a plane. Jeff Carson bringing out the caution this time around here for number 4. Let's see what happened with Jeff as he's being chased down by the 36. That's Kevin Zosiak just behind him. And, I'm going to run this one back, and Jeff's not going to be happy about it. But, we're gonna take a look right here in slow-mo as we go back to the live stream. We're gonna see Jeff dive down here into turn number 4, turn 3, and he's gonna catch that rumble strip. And when he does, it almost throws the car sideways, and around he goes. So 26 laps in the book. 20 sacks. Is that Yakety Sax? That's Boots Randolph. Look it up. It'll get stuck in your head. Jackdown Motorsport says provolone on a steak is just wrong. I know. Whiz and onions from Steve's. Oh, he's not wrong. Steve's Prince of Steaks. He's right.
Emos is a square beyond compare. That's our St. Louis style pizza here.
Yeah, Jackdown Motorsports is not wrong. Provolone on a steak is just wrong. I don't like the whiz. It makes it too flopsy. It needs a little bit of body.
Yeah, I mean, we are known for. Well, no wait, I'm 4 hours from Kansas City, so they're known for their barbecue.
Well, back in October, I had the esteemed pleasure of hanging out with our fearless leader, if you will, Mr. Jonathan Leach, as he was in town as we were both going up to Tony Trapasso's memorial. And he had never been to Philadelphia before. Flew in from Detroit, picked him up after work, and I took him to Pat's King of Steaks in South Philly. Now, that's the touristy spot. Steve's is pretty good up there in the Northeast. But I did drop him right there in South Philly, and he had a blast. It was a great time, and he had his very first true cheesesteak. And I would say that he fell in love with the city of brotherly love.
I tell you what, though, Bennett Allen has fallen in love with Alex Murray's back bumper there as they're battling pretty hard for the lead. We talk about the cheesesteaks here.
If
Alex
there's
Murray
somebody
and
you don't want to see on your bumper, it's Bennett Allen. Bennett, when he gets, I mean, his brother, Preston, even more so. But if you get into that situation where you've got Bennett Allen on the bumper, you're going to want to keep some distance between you because Bennett will use the bumper to move you out of the way.
yeah, Bennett Allen, he is absolutely trying to dirt track that car around the corners there, and Alex Murray just pulling away. And you got to wonder if Bennett Allen's probably not trying to use up his stuff. I know he's not trying to, but I mean, is he in danger of using the stuff, or does he know when to back off and just ride and then mount another attack?
There's a couple of drivers out here on the track right now that knows they know when to use it and when to not. Bennett Allen's one of them. Alex Murray is another. R.J. Root is the third. Those three drivers right now, and R.J. Root buried back in 13th position right now. But those three drivers are the ones that we're going to watch all season long. They're good at tire saving and staying fast. As speaking of which, I think I just laid down the broadcaster's curse as R.J. Root just bought the big one, perhaps. I just saw him sideways. Let's see what happened here. We see the 33 of Sean Rogers. Should be the 44, but he must not have something clicked properly in his iRacing settings. Woof. And Alex Princeton involved in that too. So I'm going to run this back here. And unfortunately, Alan, they can't hear you while I run this back. But it looks like this kind of originated back here with Alex Princeton and the 7 of RJ Root and just kind of collected. Here we go. Just kind of collected Sean Rogers. We see the 7 diving it in hard as he was getting ready to use it. And instead, the No Kid Hungry 7 gets spun around.
Yeah, that was unfortunate, and that's just a product of being in the wrong spot at the right time. But nonetheless, the people that were happy to see that caution come out was the back of the field with Jeff Carson and RJ. Well, RJ Root wasn't happy to see that one because he was involved in the accident. But nonetheless, Jeff Carson was one of those guys that was definitely happy to see the caution come out.
I don't think he was that happy. He's put it on the hauler already, pal.
True.
In fact, at this point, he's more pissed that it's going to take him longer to get that car on the hauler because he's still going to wait for this thing to end.
It's a sinking feeling when your pit is when your hauler is outside the racetrack, and you got to watch all these guys. You got to wait till the end of the race to get your car out of the track.
Yeah, because it's awkward if you run across the racetrack during green flag laps. People don't like that.
No, not generally. No.
Once again, I want to welcome everyone to the Stacy Strong Sunday Night NASCAR Cup Series. Thank you for making us a part of your evening here on Sim Racing Media. Dave Regal and Alan Bergen here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. We're glad to have you with us as we will be with you every race this season from now until November, of course, here at the Clash in Los Angeles and finishing up our season in championship weekend at Phoenix. As Alex Murray takes the green flag, we go back green flag racing, and he will be harassed by Bennett Allen.
Yeah, Bennett Allen already getting on his back bumper, and he is in hot pursuit as he's just about maybe a car length off of Alex Murray, but we got another battle brewing back there, and maybe fourth position between Sean Rogers and Sean Kelly. The battle of the Seans is heating up back there at the 23 and 78. They're 23 and 44, sorry.
Looking at this racetrack from high above, of course,
we
the
got a
Olympic
car
torch. And we've got one around that looks like it's Seba Cornez, but I don't think it is. Could be, as we're here hanging out at the flame. It is Seba Cornez. It's, you know that you've been around a league too long when you can see it from way too far away. Seba Cornez lighting up that left rear and just couldn't get it released before he hit the backstretch. As they run, it's going to be Alex Murray, Bennett Allen, Sean Rogers, Sean Kelly, Michael Witt, Kevin Zosiak, Channing Ballou, Chris Davis, Nick Hansen, and Nolan Hodgson, your top 10. Ron Fitting and Ethan Ball in 11th and 12th, with Tanner Marty, John Wilco, Ken Ron, Ryan Samuelson, Richard Pruitt, and Seba Cornez, your lead lap cars. So 18 cars remain on the lead lap. And I'll tell you what, with just over 100 laps to go, I'm curious to see how this one shakes out because it's still too soon to tell.
Yeah, there's still a lot of great action going on. Dave, is Alex Murray is, well, he's had the track position all night, but Bennett Allen has been all over his back bumper since the start of this thing. And we're gonna have comers and goers all night. You know, there's gonna be guys that are racing, that get up there and race with these guys, and then there's gonna be guys that, you know, it's not really a plus pain night. You know, let's just send it. You know, let's send it and get it in there. You know, send it and see what happens. But right now, you know, based off the LCQs and the heat races, you know, Alex Murray has been the class of the field right now.
We're going to see that all season long. Alex Murray is a very talented sim racer, and Bennett Allen the same way in the 15. Of course, Bennett usually joined by his brother RP in the lower series, but RP not here in the Cup Series. We're going to get a chance to talk to Bennett in a few minutes, maybe during the next caution, assuming that there is a next caution. If I had to be a betting man, in the words of the great Chris Evans from Keystone Medical Equipment, and of course Jim Thorpe Guns and Ammo, I'd bet dollars to donuts we're going to see another caution before the checkered flag flies.
If we don't see another caution, I'm taking those odds and playing the lottery. But if I'm a betting man too, I'm betting that we're going to see one.
A lot of drivers starting to get tight here as we've got 50 laps in the books. Still running about, let's see, 15 second laps, so we're still making it pretty quick. As we take a look here at Channing Ballou holding off the 78 of Michael Witt. And there it is. Thank goodness I'm not that much of a betting man. Let's see if we can get a hold of Bennett Allen here. Oh, Bennett, where are you at?
Well, he's Bennett and he's not in it.
There he is. I'm going to grab him right here out of the Joe Gibbs Racing stable. Hey, Bennett, it's Dave up in the booth. You got me?
You startled me. Yeah, I got you.
Startled you? I'm sorry. Was it that quiet in your race chat? I can go up there and make it more exciting.
No, I was just like not expecting it.
Buddy, listen, here we are for another season of SNN Cup Series Racing. How you feeling this season?
I don't know. Optimistic, I guess. I just recently got my first ever job, so dealing with that, dealing with the fact that I have to wake up at 5 a.m. every morning. But I kind of, Sundays I'm off, so I can race for as ever long as I want. Yeah, I plan on just running Cup full time this year, just something different, and also because I'm off on Sundays, so it just kind of works out. But I'm a little optimistic for this year. Zeems, has pretty good setups for Cup. They're off and on, but they didn't make a setup for this week just because, well, A-Class wasn't here this week, so I had to do some fishing in my downloads folder to find a setup. But, yeah, I'm excited.
Well, I see you've got the Michael Jordan paint scheme on here. B-Blaze Vintage, JCTV as usual. What's RP doing? Are we going to see him in the lower series this year?
I don't think so. He's been pretty busy with the Air Force thing, and he doesn't really race iRacing that much anymore unless it's an iRacing special event. He could make an appearance at some point, but it's looking like he probably won't.
Well, we'll keep a seat warm for him because I love watching the two of you out here on the racetrack. I was happy to see you sliding in here for some Cup Series action. What are you thinking strategy-wise the rest of the way?
Keep my nose clean, keep my tail clean, and just kind of follow Alex. Hopefully we get a green flag run here, so I think I'll be able to give him a run for his money there, but we'll see.
All right, brother. Well, listen, good to see you again. As always, I'm glad to see people that familiar faces, of course. And good luck the rest of the way, brother man.
Yep, good to see you, Dave.
Yeah, listen, these are the people that I look forward to seeing because You know, we may not know each other in person, but we know each other, you know, through the internet and through this community. And one of the things that iRacing does almost better than anything else that I've heard of in the digital world, if you will, is, you know, making the world a little bit smaller. Of course, every year Sim Racing Media has a retreat. As look, Bennett Allen going for the race lead. He's got the inside of Alex Murray. Alex Murray getting the run off of 4, as Bennett maybe trying to give us a little bit of a show, still trying to pester the 22. Oh, getting a little loose coming out of 2. But, you know, here at Sim Racing Media, of course, as we're under caution once again, Ron Fitting this time bringing out the caution. But, you know, here at Sim Racing Media, we have a yearly retreat down to Homestead, Miami, and it takes, you know, the digital distance and shrinks it to real life, and it's incredible. And that's something that I know that the team at iRacing has always really strove for. You know, of course, Dale Earnhardt Jr. talks about the community that's iRacing, and of course, being an executive director here at iRacing is really important for our sport, especially as he is such a good ambassador for our sport, both in the real world and the digital world. But, you know, and of course, you know, Tony Trapasso bringing John and I together, you know, and all of the things that we've got going on. In fact, in April, I'll be making the trip out here to Southern California to see our very own Frank Marchese, as he lives out there in the Golden State. So, you know, like I said, iRacing is more than just imaginary cars. It really is a community.
Yeah, to your point also, Dave, is I mean, I've met a lot of great people here, and you can see your guy race virtually, and chances are 9 times out of 10, I'll take a line off. You get about dollars of donuts, you're gonna go to your local short track and possibly see the same guy you were racing on iRacing 3 nights ago. You know, whether it be on a dirt
certainly.
track or on an asphalt track. I mean, what are the chances you can go and see? I'm gonna do a little name dropping too. What, you know, we got like, what are the chances you can go and see, you know, Chase Holland, a USMTS guy? You know, you could race him on iRacing at Fairbury on a Monday, and then you could watch him on a Saturday night in the Midwest somewhere racing a dirt modified.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, here's the thing. You know, even the way that I got into iRacing itself was from my former, I called him my Jedi Master, as I was his Padawan learner. But my Jedi Master, Bob Nestor, of course, the 2021 Truck Series champion right here in this league, he's the one that brought me into this thing kicking and screaming. And now iRacing runs through my veins 7 days a week. I'm thinking about it. I'm working on different ideas and things for production here. And it's an incredible community of people, and I can't wait for the day where I get to go down to Tennessee and meet Chris Claude. You know, here's a guy where I've gotten to know Chris over the years through Discord and through iRacing and being his teammate and being his broadcaster and things like that. And I've never gotten to shake his hand. And believe me, after the experience that I had with Tony, I know that it's something that I need to do, you know, before time runs out, which of course hopefully for the two of us is a long time. I'm not trying to put the Kavork on Chris, but you know, so many of us miss opportunities. Don't miss an opportunity to reach out that the hand of friendship or a hearty handshake and this laurel for our never mind. If you know,
you're
you know.
good. You know.
If you know, you know. As we look here at the 78, working the inside of the 96, that's Ethan Ball getting shoved out to the outside wall. Wow! Michael Witt just gaining 2 spots out of nowhere and crawling his way into 7th position.
Yeah, he got a 2-for-1 special there, Dave. As I was just about to mention, that Ethan Ball is up 12 positions from where he started at, and he's laying down some pretty fast laps. Also, these guys are back in traffic. This is an absolute barn burner back here, or a slobber knocker in the famous words of good old JR.
Slobber knocker can, as we go under caution, slobber knocker can be a couple of different things. I don't want to tell you what to do.
That's why I had to mention good old JR in there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to step aside and pay some bills here on Sim Racing Media. I'm Dave Regal. He's Alan Bergen, and this is Sunday Night NASCAR.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic, real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Basket can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force it off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom. Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Welcome back to the LA Memorial Coliseum here on Sim Racing Media as we're watching the Stacy Strong SNN Cup Series get underway for the 2024 season with the clash at the Coliseum. Alex Murray, your race leader. We went away under caution. We came back under caution. Dave Regal and Alan Bergen with you here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth live on Sim Racing Media on YouTube.com. Want to welcome everybody in and thank you for making us a part of your evening. As Alex Murray is your race leader as we are under the 10th caution of the night here, working lap 85.
All right, and that was a nice little break that we had as we came back under caution, like Dave said. But I tell you what, this has been a fun-filled race so far, and we're almost to that 100-lap mark as we dwindle down the laps. And Dave, it's been all Alex Murray all race long, and it's been all Bennett Allen too, and a couple of comers and goers in the middle of the field. But so far, the class of the field, the stars of the show has been Alex and Bennett. So with that being said, they're gonna get them up re-racked and restacked as we get ready to line them back up and get ready to go green. Alex Murray will take the inside. Bennett Allen will be on his outside. And the lights are out on the iRacing.com pace car as we get set to get ready to go green one more time. And the iRacing.com pace car will pull off, make that left-hand turn. Alex Murray on the button into the restart zone, and he takes off midway through the restart zone, taking Bennett Allen with them as they lock up the brakes, getting into turn number one. So far, it's been a two-horse race between Alex Murray and Bennett Allen, but Channing Blue is hot on their tail back there in third place as the two lead cars are wanting to put. Oh, we got a car into the wall.
Channing Blue just shoved into the wall by Sean Rogers in the 44. That's not going to make Channing very happy. I know him. And already the chatter has started in race chat. We're going to take a look right here at Channing Blue as he was chased down by Sean Rogers and just given a little bit of a tap, and then the 12 car of Nolan Hodgson finishes the job and sends him backwards. A little bit of net code shove from RJ Root. We'll talk about net code many times this season, as it is the bane of our existence on the iRacing.com servers. Net code, of course, is when iRacing assumes that something is going to happen and reacts first.
Yeah, I've been a victim of net code many, many times. But, I mean, watching a replay, though, it looks like that they were just going for the same piece of real estate in the same traffic lane there. And, you know, Channing Blue was there, and so was the 12 car of Nolan Hodges.
Taking a look through the field now, it looks like Channing Blue going to be shuffled to what will be the free pass, so he'll keep himself on the lead lap. Of course, nobody coming down pit road for any service. Good Lord, that would be a circus and a half. Just all you'd need at that point is the dancing bears.
And the little clown car.
Of course, bears could mean something a lot more drastic here in Southern California, here on the left coast.
Sure. Unlike last night's race, we don't have mid-race entertainment, so me and Dave will be your entertainment for mid-race.
We'll apologize in advance. We do want to make sure that we get a chance to show this information here. Of course, tonight, a non-points paying race. But so everybody's starting equal, so to speak, as we look down our list of drivers here that will be featured at some point or another. 67 drivers in this league. I mean, you know, that's something that you don't see very often on iRacing.
And we're back racing, and Alex Murray leads them down the back straight away, and guess who's on this back bumper still? Bennett Allen. And Alex Murray has got to be getting tired of seeing Bennett Allen back there, as Bennett is almost getting the bumper to him, and these guys are starting to have a two-car breakaway. As we are working lap 96, 97 now, and there's so much action on this racetrack, as we got a battle for 7th position here. We got Nolan Hodges, Ethan Ball. What a run. He's up 14 spots, Dave. He's in P7 right now.
Yeah, Nolan Hodgson, we're going to ride along with him for just a moment here. And, you know, check this guy out. Holding himself together in the Brandt machine. At number 12, he's a little tighter than Michael Witt, so he gets shoved up the racetrack. As we look off to our side here on the roof, we can see that 96 of Ethan Ball trying to hold himself as steady as he can. My goodness. Ethan Ball trying desperately to get around Nolan Hodgson, and Nolan holding the high line to a degree that, you know, I don't think I've seen very often here on the server.
No, and these guys, if you look at their safety rating, these guys are mostly A-class drivers. They're A-class, they're A license holders. I'm sure most of them could go to any league and probably be in contention, if not win. And I'm sure we'll see some of these guys maybe on the road to pro this season too.
RJ Root deciding loose is fast, and we can see him really going elbows up, as you had mentioned in our show open. You know, he's got that braking distance down just right, and believe me, folks, braking is almost more important than throttle here at a track this short and this small and this flat. As the yellow flag comes out for the 12th time tonight with about 47 laps to go. RJ Root taking a moment here to breathe. We're going to take a moment here to find out what brought this out. It looks like Ken Ron involved. As we can see the 33 just behind the 3 of Ron Fitting. Ken Ron, oh, the 3 is going to come down and catch Fitting comes down and catches Ron.
Tough break for Ron there in the 33 car, as he was running a solid race up to this point. With about 45 laps to go here in this one.
Nolan Hodgson going behind the wall in a weird change of fate here. Let's see what goes on. All of a sudden, Channing Ballou coming down pit road. I don't get it. Let's see. I don't see that. I don't see the right side of the car going up, so maybe he's just getting fuel and go. Ballou getting 4 tires. Folks, this is where a little bit of imagination can help out, because, of course, we can't see the pit crew, but they can. Ballou getting some repair done, quite obviously. But Nolan Hodgson deciding to stay put, so maybe he's getting some kind of repair work done.
Yeah, this is a nice little bull ring, and I'm glad they moved the clash out to the Coliseum. And, you know, Southern California, you know, not a lot of people know this. There's a lot of great racing out in Southern California. I mean, if you think about it, you got Kern County Speedway, you got, you know, all the little short tracks up there that have late model stocks. You know,
I just went to virtually went to Kern County Speedway the first time a couple of weeks ago. What a cool place for a race.
I spent some time on the dirt track out there in the virtual world, running pro late models and UMP modifieds.
Yeah, that of course named for Kevin Harvick, and you know, of course, being in Bakersfield, not too far from Los Angeles. You know, just a cool place, a really neat venue, and some really great racing out there.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know, and don't forget about Irwindale Speedway. Also, another California track, because Alex Murray brings us back to green, and he waited way late, and Bennett Allen goes around in the first turn.
Let's see what happened with Bennett here, as it looks like it was just Bennett giving a shove to Murray, and then another one from Rogers. Wow. That's cannot be.
Bottleneck.
I don't know if I want to talk to Bennett after that one. Let's see who else is available here in the chat. In fact, we're going to get a hold of RJ here. Hey, RJ, it's Dave up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Hey man, listen, another year of racing for you in this league. It seems like things not going your way tonight, but I'm glad to see you out here once again on the track, at least for the brief time that you did. What are you thinking as we get ready to open the next season?
I'm definitely thinking that tracks like these definitely need some work. Not just on the league side, but also on the iRacing side. I mean, you can't touch anybody without getting a 4X. Um, so, and that's the only reason why we're out of the race is because getting hit under a caution, and then that right there, I barely even touched the dude in front of me and get a 4X.
Yeah, and that's
But
not your normal style. I mean, I was telling Alan earlier, you're one of the drivers that is usually out here saving tires and still keeping speed and doing it safely.
yeah, it's just it's the product of this track. I mean, it's so hard to race here and keep it green and not get into each other because I mean there's no breaking points, there's nothing.
No, your
But
your breaking points are almost in braille because you got to feel them out.
yeah, I mean it's basically like for me, I break after 3 hits off of red line, and next thing you know, you might get a better run out of the corner. The next run, you overbrake for the corner. It's one of those things. It's really it's an adjustment to run these really short tracks, but I will say that I am excited for the rest of the year. Got a number change, got some other changes in life. Just moved in with my girlfriend yesterday, so
Look at you growing up right before our very eyes. And that's the thing, and we're going to get into it late, as we go deeper into the season, where I've been around long enough now that I'm starting to see guys develop as into grown-ups or into slightly more mature adults. Me personally, I'm 12 inside, but this is kind of my home. I mean, I've raced against you, and it's weird to be up here in the booth for another, as we're under caution for like the 14th time. But it's really cool to be able to develop that long-term relationship with a lot of the drivers and people that I would call on if I needed assistance or some kind of direction on a racetrack.
yeah. And I mean it's a lot of fun in the sense that I've raced against a lot of the guys in here for the last 3 years. I mean, so much has changed in my life in the 3 years, and all the support that I got when my grandfather passed. Just the overall community is absolutely amazing.
And we've talked about community too. I mean, this venue here, this community itself, it shrinks itself down to real life, and you can be racing against somebody from Germany who knows that you were just going through something with your grandfather, as you did, and of course we celebrated him here on SNN, and of course what we went through with Stacy Tornowski, who this particular series is named for. Of course, I sit here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial broadcast booth. It makes things a lot closer, and it makes people realize that we can lean on one another.
Yeah, and it's amazing. I wouldn't trade anything that has happened, since I joined iRacing. There's not a single thing that I would have changed, and I'm extremely happy to still run in this league. I talked about retiring last year, wanting to have my Sundays open, but then the opportunity came around. Everything kind of played into the favor of running in this league again, so I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, this league has that ability to just suck you back in, year after year. I mean, even when I retired from the Xfinity series and started calling it, I couldn't get away from the trucks and the cup until I finally realized I was just a crappy driver and belonged up here. But this league has a weird siren call that draws us all back in. Well, we're going to get ready to go back green flag racing. I appreciate the time as I'm going to send you on back up to field filler. But listen, it's going to be an exciting season, RJ, and I can't wait to spend it with you.
Thank you, Dave.
Well, Alan, back underway with about 26 to go.
Yeah, 26 to go, and Ryan Samuelson in the same spot as I'm drawing a blank. Bennett Allen, sorry. It came to me eventually. Nonetheless, Alex Murray's dominated this whole race through 124 laps. As we are working lap 125 right now, and Alex Murray and Ryan Samuelson they're halfway back to Daytona by now. They crossed the finish line right now. So far, our biggest mover is Tanner J. Martin. Tanner Marty is our biggest mover. He's up 10 spots. Ethan Ball's even up 16 spots. He's in the top 5. So we're watching him. He had a rough go in the heat race and seemed like he started pulling it back together in the last chance showdown. And we got Bennett Allen, who was running second position, as he gets loose coming off turn 3 and 4.
Bennett Allen was just using the front nose clip of the 50. Oh, just got loose on the rumble strips. But he was just using the front nose clip as a ramming rod right behind Ethan Ball. And we go back under caution as it looks like this may be brought up by Sean Kelly. And we're going to see Kelly here in the 23 running the outside up against the wall just behind Nolan Hodgson. He dives underneath Hodgson, makes contact, and boom goes the proverbial dynamite. He opts to spin around on the racetrack and then, of course, head on down to pit road.
Yeah, as it looks like we got a few drivers that probably called in the night who had their fun meters pegged out, and that would be Jeff Carson's had his fun meter pegged out, Nick Hansen, August Princeton. Let's see here, Richard Pruitt, Steve Gomez had his fun meter pegged for the night, so I think those guys are done. Put it on the hauler, go drink some beer, and watch the rest of this one from the truck.
Yes, sir. We're going to get a hold of Kevin Zosiak right now from the Joe Gibbs Racing Stables. Hey, Kevin, it's Dave up in the broadcast booth. You got me?
Yep, I got you. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Listen, welcome here to the SNN Cup Series, brought to you by Stacy Strong. Glad to have you with us this year. You're running in 6th position in your debut. What are things, what are your takeaways from the race so far?
So far, I'm having a lot of fun. It's been semi-clean up front anyway. I don't know what's going on back there. But I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time.
Yeah, it looks like you've got the Town and Country Landscape Management 36 in good position right now. I mean, at least to try to make a run here as we're on our 15th caution with 18 laps to go. Are we thinking full send or maybe just hang on tight and take your chances in the duels?
I don't know yet. These guys up front are a lot faster than me, so I'm just trying to survive at this point. Stay in the top 10.
All right, sir. Well, listen, welcome in here to SNN Cup Series action. I'm sure that we'll be chatting more and more throughout the season. Just wanted to, get that first interview out of the way. So welcome in and good luck.
Sounds good. Thanks. Looking forward to it.
They all say they're looking forward to it until bad things happen to them on the racetrack and they'd rather throw their rig across the room.
We're coming back to green. Alex Murray on the button as he goes down and away, and he starts way late in the restart zone. Gets the whole shot. Ryan is Samuelson on his outside.
And race radio on fire like a barn. John Wilco being involved with this one. We'll see what my buddy from McAdoo is up to. We can see Wilco in what appears to be the 62 here. I'm sorry, the 80. Off. Yeah, he not happy. The 62 Tylenol machine. He keeps it clean, moves himself into 7th position, but that was a Code Brown moment if I ever saw one.
I gotta ask you a question though, Dave.
Okay.
Are they using or feeling words?
No, there's a lot of WTFs flying around right now on race radio. They are not expressing feelings more so much as they're expressing frustrations. And, you know, some of them are more frustrated than a Keebler Elf getting demoted to Fudge Packer, you know?
Oh, man. We digress.
You know, sometimes at events like these, because it's a short track and everybody is everywhere, it's more like trying to herd squirrels. You know, nobody's going where you expect them to go. It's a track that we're only going to see this 1 week out of the year. So some of these drivers have the attitude of, let's just get this over with. It's like waxing, really. You know, sometimes you're just going to lay it on thick and then pull fast.
It's just like when I get flu shots. It's like, don't even let me know you're going to do it. Just do it.
Oh, see, I stare at them. I make them uncomfortable. They tell me I can look away, and I'm like, no, I'm going to watch you do this. I do that with the phlebotomist when I give blood. You know, it's fantastic because they're used to everybody closing their eyes and hoping for something good. But I know what's coming. I'm going to watch it anyway and see if they're doing it right.
I asked everybody that's ever given me a shot of drawing blood. I asked them what was your GPA in college? Did you graduate at the top of the class or at the bottom?
Just remember, for everybody that says that they graduated at the top of their class, there's somebody who graduated at the bottom of the class and they're practicing medicine somewhere near you. You know, people don't understand that without day we don't have night, without good we don't have bad. So without being the top, you don't have the bottom. You know, so a lot of people just need to understand that someone out there didn't do as good as everybody else in their med school classes. All of a sudden, Alex Murray and Ryan Samuelson breaking away from a 3-wide situation where Bennett Allen just went 3 wide and did not do well here. Let's take a look and run this back. As we do, we see Bennett Allen beating the bumper on the 78, making it 3 wide, and Allen, he almost looked like he got a little tight here. We're going to slow it down to about quarter speed. There it is with the 78. That's Michael Witt, and all of a sudden Michael Witt becomes the meat in this sandwich between Sean Rogers, and it looks like Bennett just makes the hard right turn. We're going to take a look here from the cockpit as well, because that did not look like a normal Bennett Allen turn. That's for sure.
No, that is definitely for sure. As we're on board with, looks like Bennett Allen right there, and then he loops it around.
Yeah, he might have gotten loose and then steered right to go left, and it didn't work very well.
Definitely works in the Cars movie. Checking in with the YouTube chat, Dave Devil Charger says, "Hey, that's my line." Robert Nestor said Dave made him speechless. And Devil Charger also saying that that will make Dave speechless when he reads this. Laugh out loud. Robert, Dave has made me speechless at least 4 times.
That is listen, right there, that is the great Robert Nestor, my Jedi Master here on the iRacing.com servers, the 2021 Tuesday Night NASCAR Truck Series champion from this family of racing. This is the guy that you have to blame for spending 3 and 4 nights with me on the air. It's his fault.
That's a good thing, though. I'm glad he talked you into it.
Bob Nestor has got to be one of the coolest people on the face of the planet. Not just I can't even say it for this reason anymore. You know, he's not even my boss anymore, so I don't have to tell him that because I want to make him feel good. I mean, I genuinely mean that. He's one of these people that will take you and mold you and bring you around. And in this business here on iRacing, you know, he took me and decided that he figured out that I had nothing left in the tank and I should just broadcast. And he was right.
Oh, I couldn't be any more happier. He says you're welcome now.
Good old tip of the cap to the Bobster. With 4 to go here, Alex Murray going to have control of the field when we go back green flag racing. As the iRacing.com pace car lights are out, we're going to watch this sprint to the finish here. 6 cars left on the lead lap with 4 to go. Alex Murray hits the Geico restart zone and we're back underway. Murray jumping away from the rest of the field. Ryan Samuelson in hot pursuit. He's got Noah Hamilton also right behind him, we're still trying to set that front row of the Daytona 500 that'll be right here on Sim Racing Media on February 18th. The popsicle sticks are in the air. We're 2 to go. Ryan Samuelson and Alex Murray holding off the remainder of the field. Side by side goes John Wilco and Noah Hamilton, as Wilco trying to beat off Michael Witt. The popsicle sticks go down. The white flag is in the air. We're racing back to checkers. Alex Murray and Ryan Samuelson lead the rest of the field by 1.13 seconds. Out of turn 4 comes Alex Murray. The checkered flag goes in the air, and capturing the checkered flag for the first time this season is Alex Murray, and this is something we're going to see more often throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah, congratulations to Alex Murray picking up the win tonight here in the Clash. And Ryan Samuelson had a rough go of it early on, but managed to pick up that P2. And Noah Hamilton, where did he come from? I didn't even know he was up there and flirting around there, and he picked up 7 positions.
Well,
so.
he had to wrap up his performance on Broadway, for Hamilton, and then got out here to Los Angeles real quick. And celebrate does Alex Murray right here in front of Ryan Samuelson, those two drivers. We're going to see a lot of 1-2 finishes from those guys this season. I can promise you that without a shadow of a doubt. So we're going to go right here, as most of these drivers are well aware. Let's see, Alex Murray in the double deuce. We're going to put him in the waiting room, and then we'll get his teammate Ryan Samuelson down into the waiting room. That's how we do it. And Alex Murray, it's Dave Regal up in the broadcast booth. Do you have a copy, sir?
Yeah, I got you.
Listen, man, great run tonight, a strong run from the pole. How do you how do you hold the pole that long?
A lot of mistakes behind me, to be honest with you. Those guys were being really aggressive, and I just stuck to be consistent and let them make the mistakes and just stayed up front.
Yeah, I was just telling Alan, who's new to the broadcast booth here and the way that we do things in SNN, I said, we're going to see Alex and Ryan 1-2 a lot this season. I mean, here you are, another season in SNN. What are you looking forward to most as we embark on the 2024 season?
The competition's looking pretty stiff this year. We've got, all of us, and then we've got all of the Team Conti guys coming over. Derek Heitman, Patrick Gitter, Matt DeCiani, Randy Belk, all those guys are coming. So should be a pretty good year. Should be really competitive, and it should be a lot of fun. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, I was telling Chris earlier on tonight, off air and on air, that once the season wrapped up in Phoenix, I mean, I had some stuff, I had some leagues to call in the off season, but really, my heart belongs here in SNN, and I couldn't wait until February 4th, quite frankly. It's at this point, I count down to NASCAR season the same way that I do to spring training. So, before I cut you loose here, who do you need to tip your helmet to for the first time this year?
Centers of Excellence, everybody at Phantom Sim Sports, Field Filler Racing, and Ryan for having us on board for this year. He's on Phantom Sim Sports, but for the league, we're on FFR, and obviously everyone who supports us, and family, fiance, little boy, everybody that allows me to do what I do.
All right, brother. Well, listen, congratulations on the checkered flag tonight. You'll be on the front row for the Daytona 500, February 18th, right here on Sim Racing Media.
Yeah, looking forward to it, guys.
And last but certainly not least tonight, from Westminster, Maryland, my sister's favorite driver, even though that she doesn't like dudes, is Ryan Samuelson here in the 81. Hey, Ryan, it's Dave up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Hey, man, listen, congratulations on the P2 finish right behind your teammate. You guys are both going to start in the front row of the Daytona 500. In 2 weeks from today, what are you thinking as we get ready to move into the, Speed Weeks phase of our season?
That they're letting me start second at the Daytona 500? Why would we do that? That's chaos right there. I don't know, man. Like, it's Daytona is not really one of my places, so we'll see how that goes. I mean, it probably won't last long, so we'll see. We're just have to get back racing. I hit about everything except the finish line first tonight, so I mean, yeah.
No, I get it, man. I mean, this is a tight racetrack, a quarter of a mile. I mean, take us through it. I mean, you wind up crawling up out of third position to take second. And, take us through the traffic here. I mean, was it that much of a pain in the tuchus, or the fact that all of those cautions kind of kept the mayhem behind you?
It was definitely tricky, hard to get like a rhythm throughout the whole thing. When I spun out, you just have to reset yourself and reset your mind and you're driving, and then it's so hard to pass, and then you kind of get a couple more laps go and you get like a little bit of a green flag run, and then you're like, okay, I can get by this guy. Okay, I might have to start sending outside and just patiently work your way up. I mean, it also requires a lot of luck, especially at this place. RJ in the same scenario as I got the crap end of the luck stick, I guess, with trying to get through traffic and just having people come up hit me and all that stuff. So I just got kind of lucky towards the end, middle end for the race. So.
Yeah, luck has a lot to do with this place. I mean, especially because it's a temporary track, and really, I think it's incredible the amount of preparation that goes into putting the Coliseum track together and then all of a sudden having to tear it right back down. I mean, I can't imagine what it's like bouncing around, and iRacing fortunately keeps it consistent.
Yeah, tough track, very, especially first thing to do too. Your mind's always on Daytona, the 500 and all that, but then it's like you have this little preseason race right here, and you're like, it's a short track race. And trust me, I tried to go for it tonight. I can ask Alex. I was thought about last year wrecking him and costing us both the win, but just trying not to make the same mistake twice. But he got me in that last start, and it was game from there.
Yeah, man. Well, listen, congratulations once again. Who do you need to tip your helmet to tonight for the first time this season?
First time, Run More. I mean, we had a great sale weekend. So, my main guys at Run More, all my Steve and all them, Magic. I mean, all the guys who do it at Team Phantom Racing. So, yeah.
All right, man. Well, listen, congratulations on the P2 finish. Congratulations on making the front row of the Daytona 500, which will be, like I said, once again right here on Sim Racing Media in just 2 short weeks. So congratulations, and we will see you at Daytona.
Thanks.
Well, folks, usually I'd like to say another one in the books, but this is the first one in the books of 2024. And Alan, I couldn't have given you anything better for your first night here with SRM or with SNN.
Wow, yeah, you certainly it was all the hype that you made it out to be, and I tell you what, man, it's been an absolute blast. I am so looking forward to the rest of the season. These guys are true professionals, and we have some rookies in the field. I'm not, they're not the only one with the rookie stripe on the back bumper. I got a rookie stripe on my back bumper, and it's going to be one hell of a ride.
Yes, sir, and it will be a great ride from now until November. As we take one final look at our final results from tonight, Alex Murray bringing home the checkered flag. He'll be joined in the front row of the Daytona 500 by Ryan Samuelson. Noah Hamilton brings home third position, while John Wilco comes home in fourth, netting his first top 5 of the season, as Nolan Hodgson rounds out the top 5. Michael Witt finishes in sixth, while Sean Kelly, Tanner Marty, Sean Rogers, and Bennett Allen make up your top 10. Kevin Zosiak in his debut here with the Stacy Strong Cup Series finishes in 11th, while Ethan Ball and Chris Davis finish in 12th and 13th, respectively. Mark Johnson and R.J. Root, one of our longtime racers here, a veteran of the series, finishes in 15th, while Ron Fitting and Channing Ballou finish 16th and 17th. Ken Ron in the double 3 finishes in 18th, with Seba Cornez and Richard Pruitt finishing out your top 20, while Alex Princeton, Nick Hansen, and Jeff Carson are the best of the rest, making up our 23-car field here at the LA Memorial Coliseum. And folks, I want to thank you once again for making us a part of your evening here on SRM. We will be with you every step of the way this season, all season long, right here for the Stacy Strong Sunday Night NASCAR Cup Series. I'm Dave Riegel, he's Alan Bergen, and I want to thank you once again for tuning in. And tomorrow, as you go through your day, remember, you're special. You're the only one like you. Good night, everybody.